Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather around for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the sheer face of Half Dome, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt will be your compass, your confidant, your companion as we explore the wonders of travel. So sit back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust whoosh over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shot for your guide through the highways and byways of travel. Your planning partner, the man with the map, Matt Schraeder. Hi, Yinz doing? Welcome to the Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me today is a newcomer to the podcast, Chrissy. It's great to have
Hi.
you with us. So, whenever we have a new guest on the podcast, we like to ask this question: what is your favorite place that you've ever visited, or is there a place that you want to visit the most?
So my favorite place I've ever visited is probably Walt Disney World. Just so many memories and so much fun with my family. But there's also a place that I would love to visit, and that is Italy.
My sister and brother-in-law did a Viking cruise there. A year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, and they loved it. They went and they started in Italy, then they went to some places in Spain and finished up in excuse me, some places in France and then finished in Spain. So yeah, they thought it was amazing.
Yeah, that would be amazing. My nanny is originally from Italy, and just hearing, you know, her talk about stories that her parents and grandparents told her and everything. I dream of someday getting to visit. So
Yeah, the closest I've gotten is in Epcot in the Showcase.
same.
So, but yeah, that's on my list too. The just the architecture, and then there's the food and everything. Yeah, one of these days we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today's topic, I guess you can be considered something going along with Italy. It's very romantic. There is romantic Disney. So first, I'd like to start by wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day. So when this airs, it's Valentine's Day is tomorrow. So when you think of romantic encounters, the first thing that pops into your mind is most likely going to be mice. Okay, so that might be only if you're Cinderella. But Walt Disney World Resort has many romantic locations, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So a few years ago, Chrissy and her husband celebrated their 15th anniversary at Walt Disney World. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So she's the perfect person to talk to about this. I got engaged at Walt Disney World, and my wife and I did sort of a short honeymoon type thing there too. I was only for a few days, but I still count it. And I don't like to brag, but I'd call us experts on being romantic, both in general and at Walt Disney World specifically. I think so, right, Chrissy?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, that's not entirely true. I do like to brag. So, yeah. Now, disclaimer on this: beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, on that note, what is considered to be romantic depends on the couple. That what is romantic for one couple might not be romantic for another. So, for example, giving a bouquet of flowers doesn't work too well if the other person's allergic to them. Another example, I'm working with a couple right now who are going to renew their wedding vows in front of the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, personally, I wouldn't mind doing that because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but my wife isn't nearly as big a Star Wars fan as me. She just kind of tolerates it. So that's not going to be romantic for her. So whenever you're doing this, make sure you work around what both people are going to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so here's our list of some of the most romantic places in Walt Disney World. Well, pretty much everywhere, okay? Particularly at night. All right, that was easy, right?
Yep, I guess we're done.
Okay. Shortest podcast episode ever. No, we're gonna split these up into location. We're going to list a whole lot of places. We're not going to go into full detail about all of these. Um, some of them will be fairly obvious. Some of them you might have either not walked right past and never noticed, or something like, oh, when you think about it, yeah, that I like that. But it's not something that's going to be on top of your list. But let's start with the obvious: Cinderella Castle in Magic Kingdom.
She's a beauty.
And I've seen a couple get engaged in front of it. We were walking around, whatever, and I noticed sort of a little bit of a crowd around them. And then I saw the two people talking. I was like, okay, something's happening here. I didn't have enough time to get my camera out to record for them, but I think they had enough in their group to do it. So it was all right. But not even just in front of it, but the sides of the castle are pretty, have some pretty beautiful views as well. One of my favorites is over near the entrance to Liberty Square, where the Sleepy Hollow restaurant is, and you get that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, like if you aren't set on seeing the projections of the fireworks, I think that you can really enjoy it from anywhere. And just having the castle as a backdrop is amazing.
And that'll be another thing that we'll mention later on too, is if you would do it with somewhat of a view of the castle with the fireworks going too. Oh,
Hmm.
absolutely. But I like the Sleepy Hollow place right where that little bridge is, because you get there's like the moat there, and you get the reflection of Cinderella Castle in the water, which is I have so many pictures of that, and every time I take another one or five, I don't know. Now on the other side of the castle too, by where the wishing well is, and where like that entrance, the other entrance in the fantasy land, that's a nice
Hmm.
view too, and you kind of a
It's
similar
neat
thing.
too. Yeah, and I like the wishing well. I think that that's kind of like a little hidden spot too, especially, looking at it from the kid's view and seeing her crown. And I think that that's a nice little hidden uh, pixie dust.
And if you're going to do the engagement, you can really do you could set something up really nicely, throwing the penny in. It's like, okay, see if your wish came true, and then you could. So here's your proposal hints, you know. But yeah, that area, my wife and I think it might have been even on our first trip there. No, it was when we got engaged, but before I did the proposal, that we have a real nice picture on that side of the castle.
We did a capture your moment with my family and got a really cool set of pictures of us walking, actually on the opposite side down towards where they do the Encanto meet and greet now, like heading towards Tomorrowland.
Hmm.
And it was just, like us all walking in a line, all six of us hand in hand, just coming down from the castle. We got views of us from the front and views of us from the back. And it was just such a pretty view of the castle from there as well.
Definitely. Although I think it's kind of interesting. Whenever you say there's such a pretty view of the castle, that's pretty like anytime you see the castle, that's such a pretty view of the castle.
Very true.
Now, another common place to take pictures of the castle is on Main Street, USA. But during the day, it's usually pretty crowded, so it's not quite that romantic thing. But a little bit later at night, it can now not during the fireworks or closer to that, because then it gets crowded again. But whenever, especially in the winter, whenever it starts getting dark, maybe around 6 o'clock ish, especially if the fireworks aren't until a little bit later on, Main Street, whenever with all the lights on and there's not as many people, that's really nice just to walk or down there. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, it definitely is.
There's there's something to be I don't know, at least for me, there's something about being at an amusement park at night with all the lights there and how everything glows and the atmosphere of art. We're having so much fun, and you can hear people screaming on, some of the rides, and there's that the buzz of energy and excitement.
Yeah, my husband teases me that I'm a completely different person when I'm at Disney World because I can be walking into the theme park at 10 o'clock at night, whereas at home I am well asleep by then. So it's my second personality, I guess, my Disney personality.
You get the Disney energy.
I do.
Now, as we mentioned before, seeing the fireworks, if you don't mind missing the projections on Main Street USA and on the front of the castle, is seeing the fireworks from different places in the park can offer some really unique views. Specifically, if you ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad over in Frontierland.
Yes, and on our last trip, we actually rode the People Mover and watched the fireworks from the People Mover. And we put all the kids in one car, and my husband and I were by ourselves in a car. So that was a very romantic experience, just getting to like chill in the People Mover and watch the fireworks. It was pretty sweet.
And you can actually see the fireworks a little bit better as opposed to whenever you're on Big Thunder Mountain when you're, watching out for hairpin turns and things along those lines. Much more slower pace on the People Mover.
Yeah,
And just the fact that you and your husband got to sit next to each other without kids climbing on you. So, yeah.
I know. It was
So,
incredible.
I have three sisters, and we went to Disney World several times when we were kids. So, I fully appreciate what you do when you go there, Chrissy, because I was on the other end of that and I know I know what we put our parents through.
Yeah.
And now another thing is that after the fireworks, if you hang around a bit and you aren't the first to leave, because one, there's a mad rush to get out of the park anyway, so there's long lines for the buses and the monorail and the ferries back to the hotels that are around the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake. So if you just take your time to stroll out of the park, you can get a little bit of quiet time with your significant other and uh, you know, when it's kind of dark and, later at night after you've just seen the fireworks and things like that. And another thing is if you would get in line for an attraction right at closing time, and especially if it's one of the ones that has a longer wait, so you can enjoy all the other stuff without waiting in line. And then you get that bonus time of waiting in line that's not going to be park time. And then whenever you're done, especially if you're getting like Tron, with if it's an hour wait at the very end, you're leaving an hour after everyone else was there. So it's going to be very, very quiet.
Yeah, and that's an awesome time to get those castle pics. I have a picture. Now, granted, it was around 2020, so the park was kind of empty anyway. But I have an awesome castle pic of my kids, and literally they're just sitting on the ground in front of the castle with nobody else around. So it's definitely a neat time to get those pictures.
Absolutely. And just to be able to say that you were walking through Magic Kingdom with pretty much nobody there, you don't get to say that too often.
No, definitely not.
Now, the next one is pretty much any of the lands at night are pretty neat. There's enough light to see, but it's dim enough so it's like a candlelight dinner atmosphere type thing. Specifically, like the neon lights you get in Tomorrowland, the lanterns you get in some of the other lands too. In Fantasyland, you have like the different, like the ball lanterns around where Winnie the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is, or over where the teacups are.
Speaking of lanterns, getting that lantern photo back by the Rapunzel bathrooms and It's a Small World is another romantic kind of shot that you could get when they bring the Rapunzel lantern out and allow you to get pictures with it.
I think it's interesting. Everyone knows the Rapunzel bathroom. That's like the
They're the best
bathroom,
bathrooms in Magic Kingdom.
pretty much. And one of my favorites, I think, is the Tron light cycle run at night. Whenever the canopy is all lit up, that it is just amazing. Um, how it changes colors and just lights up. That I could spend hours there just taking pictures and video and walking around enjoying that. Another thing is whenever you're up on that little platform is looking over to where Space Mountain is and you get Bay Lake in the background. I have a really cool picture of seeing the canopy lit up with Space Mountain behind it with Bay Lake Tower behind that. And it was just so cool in the night.
That would be a really cool shot.
Now, right near there is there's a little walkway that connects Fantasyland and Tomorrowland that goes back near where the railroad comes. And whether it's day or night, it's fairly secluded. Not too many people know about it or even use it. And if you're coming from Fantasyland, you come behind the Barnstormer. If you're going from Tomorrowland, you come out kind of where you're like under Tron. Instead of going up on the canopy, you walk under it.
Hmm.
And you get to go on the other side of the Tomorrowland Speedway, walk under the Tron thing. So at night, it's pretty cool to look up at the big canopy from way down below. Now, one disclaimer though that there is a smoking area along that path, so be aware of that. But for the most part, it's very quiet back there. I forget when I
I
learned.
like the nice quiet places.
Yeah, I forget when I learned about this several years ago. That I was either reading a book or I looked at the map and I saw this little path. Was like, wait, what's that? Was that always there? So
Yeah, I never noticed it until we were riding the train. And when the train was back up and running and everything and went through it. And then that's when I noticed that that path was there.
yeah, you sometimes see people walking along. It's like, wait, that's a thing. So now another romantic thing is Cinderella's royal table. I mean, getting to eat in the castle and then all the princesses come out.
Yeah, definitely pretty special.
And then similar to that is eating in Beast Castle with Be Our Guest restaurant. And that's a little, it's a romantic thing. It's a little bit, the darker candlelight dinner, atmosphere type thing.
Yeah, and it's good for the like Belle fans that they get to go and, eat in Beast Castle.
Definitely. And now another one that you might not have on your list is the Columbia Harbor House over in Liberty Square, especially if you go to the second floor. That not many people, whenever they get their food, they will usually just eat on the first floor. But if you go upstairs, often that is fairly unoccupied, especially if you're there in a not very busy time of year. Whenever it's busy, sometimes people have to go up there because it just gets crowded. But whether it's day or night, it's a nice little secluded spot.
Yeah, it's a good people watching spot too.
Yeah, looking down,
And
you have that little bit of elevation to get some views up there.
yeah,
And then speaking of being elevated, the Main Street Railroad Station, that you get some great views looking back down Main Street, USA, and at Cinderella Castle, and it's good both day and night.
yeah, for sure. It gives you a unique viewpoint, and I think it's just a really cool spot that not a lot of people think about standing to get pictures or to look at the castle and things.
Or even get watching some of the parade come down whenever you get that a little bit of elevation. You get quite as close to the parade as you would standing on Main Street, USA, but you get a different view of it.
Yeah, it's neat.
And another thing is over in Liberty Square, right near the Columbia Harbor House, is the Haunted Mansion.
It's my
So
favorite ride.
it's a little bit dark. You get your private doom buggy. Just watch out for hitchhiking ghosts who can ruin the atmosphere a little bit. They kind of crowd in on you.
A little bit, make it a little tight.
So we did a whole podcast episode on the Haunted Mansion and Tower of Terror. It was on Halloween one time that we did that. It's a couple years ago. But yeah, that's I was very happy that the Ghost came back. So
Yeah, it's definitely a neat addition.
so have you been out to Disneyland as well, Chrissy?
No, I have not. That is on my bucket list.
So you have to go out and give me your opinion of the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on the Haunted Mansion. So it's called the Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm going to go, that's when I would want to go because I would want to see the overlay and see the big differences between the two.
And now, is there anything else you wanted to add for Magic Kingdom before we jump to Epcot?
No, I think that we've hit a lot of the good stuff about Magic Kingdom.
Now, one possible thing is Tony's Town Square restaurant that it can get kind of crowded in there because it's fairly popular, but you can reenact the Lady and the Tramp scene with the spaghetti if you'd like.
Absolutely. No better place to do it.
Now, in Epcot, pretty much anywhere that has a view of Spaceship Earth, especially at night, I particularly like Communicore Plaza. When the big open space they have that kind of leads towards where World Showcase is, that the lights correspond to Spaceship Earth. That on Communicore Hall and then the general lights they have up just so you can see that whenever Spaceship Earth is more like the red orange, then they're the red orange. Whenever Spaceship Earth transitions to like the blue green, then the lights change to a blue green. So this how they work together, I think that's really neat.
My favorite view of Spaceship Earth at night is probably from the Journey of Water Moana walkthrough,
Hmm.
because all of the greenery within the walkthrough is lit up in different colors, and then Spaceship Earth is literally just right there in the background. And I have incredible pictures that almost look like postcards that just came from walking through there. It's a really neat place to see Spaceship Earth at night.
And even just walking through the Journey of Water at night too, just when you're not looking at Spaceship Earth, like you said, with all the lights and uh, even just playing with the water features there, that there's something about bringing out the kid in you and having that, the youthful joy of just being with someone and just playing around.
Yeah, it's fun.
No, on the opposite side of Spaceship Earth, when you're outside of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, where you can get the Spaceship Earth there, the monorail can, if you time it right, the monorail comes by there, and then you have that Nova Core Star Blaster that's out front that's all lit up. That's a real neat, thing stacked, one behind the other that you can see.
I feel like anytime you can catch the monorail going by with Spaceship Earth in the photo, it's like the perfect photographic moment.
Oh, there have been times, especially when I've been there before I got married and I was at Disney on my own, that I'd stand and just wait. I'd have a spot. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good picture, and I just wait for the monorail.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit harder because I get people like, come on, Daddy, can we go to the next ride? I want to go here, and I'm hungry. Can we go get lunch? It's like, but wait, I need the perfect picture. All right.
They just don't understand.
Yeah. Now, very close to there is Mission Space at night with the big thing of Mars and the moon all lit up there too, and that little plaza, and then also Space 220 right next door. That's a real neat thing of going in the elevator up to outer space and getting to see Earth from 220 miles away. Or sorry, no, it's not 220 miles. That's a little bit too close. Um, was it 220,000 miles? Whatever it is. No, that's too
Yeah.
far. Whatever, wherever they are above Earth. I forget how many miles it is.
It's just that, and that in its of itself is a really cool experience, just feeling like you're eating in outer space.
Yeah, they did a really good job of the immersiveness of that and the special effects and how they pull that off.
Yeah, my favorite is the astronaut dog.
There was a so back when in the 1950s, I believe, whenever I think it was the 50s or 60s, whenever with the Wonderful World of Disney and then Disney's Wonderful World of Color, they had a couple of programs that there was a cartoon about going into outer space and not exactly realistic with what they did, but it's entertaining. Remember seeing that on. I have a bought DVDs of a couple of the old ones that they released. Oh, this was like 20 years ago. Now another place is the plaza outside the Magic Eye Theater near the Imagination Pavilion. And I
Hmm.
like this both day and night. This is where they have the leaping water fountains, the jellyfish water fountains, and you get Spaceship Earth in the background with the monorail that comes by. So again, more great pictures of that. They have the reverse waterfall jumping up. That I like just being there playing with the water. And another time just have
Yeah,
fun with the person, your significant other.
yeah, absolutely. We did one of the after hours events at Epcot on our actual anniversary that year. And it was so neat just because the crowds were minimal. I mean, there weren't many people there at all. And just getting to walk around and enjoy those little things like the fountain and just the walkway up to Living with the Land. And everything is just so much more magical at night, I feel like.
Yeah, and speaking of living with the land, during the holidays, whenever it's all lit up with the Christmas lights and the decorations, that's one of my favorite times to go and see that because it's so pretty and it's a slow moving boat and you have a chance to actually talk to the person.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going during the holidays, I think, is my favorite time to go.
Oh, absolutely. And then moving right along, the exterior of the Seas with Nemo and Friends at night, especially with the water splashing and the seagulls there.
Hmm.
Now them saying mine, mine, mine all the time,
Yes.
But I have some really nice pictures of getting the sign of the Seas with Nemo and Friends with Spaceship Earth in the background. That's a real neat area. And then even
Yeah,
walking in
and
there, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I know walking through there, if you aren't going directly towards the seas, but you are kind of off to the right behind where Spaceship Earth is, a lot of times they'll have like a PhotoPass photographer set up there and get some really neat photos of you like right against Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, Disney knows those great photogenic spots that are going to have the great backdrop, and they position their photo fast photographers there.
Yeah.
And now, even inside the aquarium at the Seas with Nemo and Friends, that there's something serene about it of just seeing all the fish and the turtles and everything else just glide by. It helps you to slow down, and so it's not the rush, 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 rush of the normal Disney vacation. It's more of a slower pace thing to let you actually be in the moment and enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like anytime that you are able to do that and just kind of take it all in, just adds a little bit of more romantic atmosphere to it.
Taking that time to appreciate the fact that you are making memories with the people that you love, type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now over on the other side of the park, the walkway that is near the Odyssey Center, that is basically the shortcut from Test Track to the Mexico Pavilion.
Hmm.
That little walkway thing, whether it's day or night, it's usually not too crowded. Um, at night it's a little bit more isolated. They have nice little lighting along the wall there and on the ground, so it's a sets a nice romantic atmosphere.
Hmm.
And then leading into the World Showcase, anywhere at night there, that just seeing all the different, the icons of the different countries lit up, it's just so pretty.
Oh, it's unbelievable that just the engineering and the imagination is just phenomenal.
And their job they did at replicating all that. That
Yes.
they took some liberties with some things for size and scale and everything, but they're pretty spot on. Like in Germany where they have the knights up above the one store, that there's three of them there. In the real place there were four of them, so that they changed things a little bit, again for scale and space and everything. But in Italy with St. Mark's Square, or in the tower there and everything, the Doge's
Hmm.
Palace, that it looks so much like you could actually be in Venice.
Yeah. Potentially the closest I'll ever get, but I enjoy the close replicas.
And now, if you want to save your some steps, keep your feet a little bit fresher, is riding the Friendship, especially at night. That what you're going on the World Showcase Lagoon, or even if you're going to take it on Crescent Lake outside of the park. That's a Especially in the back. I like to sit in the very back of that when you're outside, because you can actually, you can see things a bit better. And if it's a warm day, you get that little bit of a breeze blowing.
Yeah, it is a nice little break away from the crowds and off your feet for a little bit and serves a purpose because it gets you from one point to another.
And then working our way around the World Showcase, just a few places that stand out is the San Angel Inn in Mexico. It's a little bit darker in there, so you get like the, mood lighting type thing, and you get some really good Mexican food.
Yeah, they have some really good food there and great views of the water. And if you can get it just right, you can see the fireworks too.
And being in the inside of the pavilion, seeing in the restaurant, seeing the boats go by too. That's always
Yeah,
fun.
I was talking about the wrong Santa in Hell.
Yeah.
I was talking
See,
about La
yeah,
Hacienda.
there's two of them. There is the one that's outside too. That's a nice place that whenever you, if you can get a seat closer to the to the water. That
Yes.
is that's great during at night. Yeah, and they're again, Imagineers, great job of putting those restaurants that have those prime views of the fireworks and the World Showcase Lagoon. They will mention a few of those as we go around the countries.
Hmm.
Now we talked about Italy, the Isola del Lago. So it's the island of the lake. So it's that little island thing where all the gondolas are. That's standing up there. That it's a little bit off the beaten path, so you're not going to get the normal traffic. That if you're going to go up there, you want to go up there for a reason. So especially at night, it's great views, and if you can get there early enough and stake out a spot, great place to watch the fireworks and well, whatever nighttime show you happen to be for there for. I know they change them every once in a while at Epcot.
Yeah, I agree. And going with that area specifically, again, another capture your moment. We've done them in every park. So, but for our anniversary, we specifically did one, um, just the two of us in Epcot, and we hit up Italy, and then I know we're not there yet, but Morocco was incredible.
Yeah, we'll talk about Morocco a bit more in a bit. But before we leave Italy, some of the restaurants there, the Trattoria Al Forno, Tutto Italia, Tutto Gusto wine cellar, that you get great food, and the atmosphere and the theming of those restaurants is just so amazing. Oh, I guess you can
Yeah,
say about any of the restaurants at Epcot.
definitely. But yeah, they definitely have the romantic touch there.
Moving on to the American Adventure, the America Gardens Theater, especially if you're there for the Disney on Broadway during the Arts Festival, the Garden Rocks concert series during the International Flower and Garden Festival, the Eat to the Beats concert series during the International Food and Wine Festival, or the Candlelight Processional during the International Festival of the Holidays. Which I think the Processional is just so pretty with them walking with the candles there, and it's if you go with the well, no matter what during the holiday season, it's just getting dark there, or if you do the later one where it is already dark, and to see them walk in, it's so pretty. And then just
Yeah,
the singing
definitely.
too,
Yeah, it's definitely a magical thing to see.
and also catching a performance of the Voices of Liberty right near there. That something with the a cappella singing, and that
I
it's
have a funny story about that. We also did go to Disney for a few days on our honeymoon before we went on a cruise. And my husband and I were in listening to the Voices of Liberty, and a cast member came up and tapped us on the shoulder and told us that we had a phone call and took us into this little room. And I don't know what we were thinking, but neither of us were thinking, and we kind of panicked. Like, obviously, how would this cast member have known who we were to pick us out of all these people that we had like an emergency or something, you know? But here, it was a phone call from Mickey wishing us a happy anniversary, or a happy honeymoon, for getting married. And it was just really funny that both of our hearts stopped, thinking that they tracked us down somehow to tell us that, like, there was an emergency that we had to attend to. And here it was just them spreading little pixie dust.
that's awesome. That's amazing. That's pretty neat that they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, moving next in line is Japan. And the restaurants there, like Takumi Tai, Shikisai, the Sushi Izakaya, and Teppon Edo, they sit up a bit higher, and so you have some really good views looking out over the World Showcase Lagoon. Now, Takumi Tai and Shikisai, they're a little bit closer to the front, so you can see a little bit better than Teppon Edo, but still, all of them have a pretty nice view, especially if you got in that little balcony area that they have while you're either waiting beforehand or afterwards.
And the food's good too.
Oh yeah. And even the Katsura Grill, the quick service restaurant that they have there, that if you can get one of the seats on the outside in little outdoor eating areas, if the weather's fairly moderate, you know, it was during one of the was it Matsuriza performance, the um, taiko drums that they have.
Hmm.
That I could sit there and listen to them all day long. Last time we were there in early January, we went by and my we caught part of it that I could hear the drums as we were walking through the American Adventure, and my daughter was like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, hurry up, let's go, let's go, let's go!" And so we walked a little bit faster and got there, and we heard the end of their performance, and then whenever they were done, my daughter was like, "Why'd they stop? I want them to keep going." Like, we can come back. We'll catch them later on.
Yeah,
So I converted her, so that's a good thing.
definitely.
And now you mentioned in Morocco, that courtyard there is so phenomenal that
Oh, and it's beautiful.
the whenever they built the pavilion, that the King of Morocco sent some of his artists to Walt Disney World so that they could work on it to make it look as authentic as possible. So when you're looking at the real, oh my gosh, it looks like the real thing. That's because it is the real thing.
That's wild. And it is just, it's so stunning. And just seeing the tile work and the fountains, and so many people don't even know that it's there. It's absolutely a romantic place to stroll through hand in hand. And um like I said, we did part of our capture the moment there, and it was just so quiet and relaxed back there that we had almost no problem getting our pictures taken because there was nobody else around.
And even some of the just the other little stuff that they have there. There's like a little one little shop that they have some things hanging on the wall, and there's like Aladdin's lamp sitting there too,
Hmm.
or like a recreate, one that looks like it. Um, so the neat little things that if you pay attention, there's little details in there you can uh, pick up. My wife always likes to walk back there too. It's the end, get away from the hustle and bustle and the chaos of most of the rest of the parks.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we mentioned the restaurant in Mexico where you can sit right on the water. Spice Road Table here in Morocco that you can look out on the water as well. And then right next door is France and the restaurants there, whether it's Chefs de France or Monsieur Paul. And Monsieur Paul sits above Chefs de France. So you get a little bit better views up there. And again, you're getting gourmet
And
French food.
yeah, and it's France. What's not romantic about France?
Let's say you even have the Eiffel Tower in the background there.
Right.
And now another place that is often overlooked in bypass, it's called Terrace des Fleurs. So this is the little patio thing that sits down below. It's on closer to the World Showcase Lagoon. Not many people go down those steps to get there. They usually just walk right around and go across the bridge over to where the International Gateway is and United Kingdom. But that is actually one of the places where they hold weddings and wedding receptions if you get married in Disney. So if they're going to hold a wedding there or a reception, it's going to have a good view and it's going to be a great place.
Yeah. I wish I could go back and have my wedding at Disney.
So if anyone else who's listening, go back and listen to our episode from, was it January 9th, that we talked to Mandy, who actually did have her wedding at Disney. And Mandy's sister got married there as well. So I said their parents did a good job raising them.
They sure did. Lucky
Priorities.
ladies.
And now moving over to the United Kingdom, that courtyard that's right there, especially at night. It's usually not too crowded, although it can get kind of loud during the day whenever the band is playing back there. But at night, it's again off the beaten path, not too crowded, a little quiet spot. And then on the other side of the pavilion is the Rose and Crown restaurant or the pub. They have the seats that overlook the World Showcase Lagoon. Getting
And
reservations
again,
there.
another spot. Yeah, another spot to dine and watch fireworks if you get there at the right time, or you purchase one of their fireworks packages.
Yeah, and getting reservations for during the fireworks is very popular, so it's hard to get. So that's another reason why you should get a travel advisor because we're the ones who get up at 6 in the morning to book that stuff for you.
Sure do.
And then completing our circuit in France and going over to Canada. the Cellier, which is possibly the most, well, one of the most fancy restaurants. I don't know that in Epcot especially, but I don't know, some of the French ones compete with it.
They do. Les Cellier, that's where we went for our anniversary dinner. And it was just, it's very dark inside, but I feel like that just ups the romantic side of it. And it was super cozy. And I really enjoyed eating there for our anniversary.
Now, if you want to jump on one of those friendships or even take the more roundabout Skyliner route, or even walk it if you're, want to get more steps in when you're at Disney, because of course you don't get enough, right? Heading over to Hollywood Studios. So either Hollywood Boulevard at night or Sunset Boulevard at night with all the, the neon lights there. Sunset Boulevard, you get views of the Tower of Terror and all those other stores that are lit up. And especially during the holidays, I like it there because they do the projections on the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, those are neat to see. And it's another really cool place that if you can get there at the very end of the night after people are already heading out, you can get those pictures on Sunset Boulevard of just you and Tower of Terror in the background. Really neat opportunity.
So yeah, there's your last ride of the night. Whenever the park's about to close, get in line for the Tower of Terror, and then you get Sunset Boulevard to yourself. Although right by Tower of Terror during the holidays is where I proposed.
Oh, cool.
So that's my wife's favorite attraction, and I've told this story on here before. But we got a fast pass for it back when they had fast passes, and it was the last thing we were gonna do before going home that night or going back to the hotel. And we got to ride it, and when we came off, it was all lit up with the projections. This was like a gingerbread house type thing with animation and characters on it. And my wife said, looked up, and was like, "Oh, that's so pretty." So I was like, "All right, perfect time." Now over on the other end, moving over a little bit in Echo Lake at night, just being around, there's something about being around water. People want to do the long walks on the beach and stuff like that, that being around water, I think heightens the romanticism, especially in the evening. If you want another place that has a little bit of quiet around the animation courtyard in the Pixar Plaza area too, where the one man's dream thing is. You get some nice views of Tower of Terror, or whenever you look down a little walkway into Toy Story Land, which I think
Toy
is pretty neat
Story
to do.
Land at night is absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, with the lights that are all the fact that they use the old fashioned Christmas lights as the actual lights there, and how it blends in. And I think there's something about having that little bit of a distance from the having all the nice kinetic energy that's happening with all kinds of movement and people being excited, and you can hear the roller coaster, but having a little bit of a distance and having a little bit in the background so you're not like right there in all of the craziness, you're a little bit farther away from it. I think there's something about that that appeals to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that I mean, it's just Disney. It's so well done and it's so incredible. I don't think there's anywhere that people are like, "Oh, I don't care for that." I mean, it's just it's amazing all around.
Well, especially with Toy Story Land, Cars Land out in Disney California Adventure in Disneyland Park in California. And then what we're talking about next, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We'll talk about this later on. Pandora with the theming, the immersiveness of those lands. It is just so amazing.
Yeah, there is nothing more incredible than seeing the Millennium Falcon lit up at night in the middle of Galaxy's Edge.
And now, Chrissy, are you a big Star Wars fan?
I would say a medium level convert.
And so this just proves the point that even if you're not a huge Star Wars fan, being in Galaxy's Edge and then being able to appreciate just the lighting effects and how well they did things, and again the immersiveness, that it's just so neat.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's anytime I'm in there, it's breathtaking. We always try to schedule an Oga's for late at night. And then when you're either waiting to get into Oga's or coming out of Oga's and you're just walking through Galaxy's Edge and it is essentially empty.
Hmm.
I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking.
And especially if you would get in line for Rise of the Resistance again, right close to closing time. Then whenever you, by the time you wait in line and you're done, everyone else is out of the park, so you get to walk through there unencumbered.
Yes.
Although they do kind of funnel you straight out, so you don't get to walk through it too much. They won't like you walk all the way back to the Millennium Falcon from there. They'll kind of usher you out more towards Grand Avenue and Echo Lake to get you out of the park whenever you're done with that.
Yeah.
So if you want to ride Smuggler's Run, then you get to walk through things a bit more. But now in that area, as you're walking out, the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater. This is a great throwback to those of us who are old enough to remember going to drive-in theaters. Now, I'm not old enough to have gone on dates there though, but we went as kids. But there still are a few that are within about an hour's drive of where I live here in Morgantown. And I was looking it up and I saw there's a couple up closer to you, Chrissy,
Mhm.
that are in the
Yeah.
Altoona
We
area of
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
we have two that are like either way from us about 15 minutes, and then one that's probably about 25 minutes from us. So we definitely have the drive-in experience still here. We like to do it with the kids in the summer.
Yeah, I have to wait until my daughter gets a little bit older. That in the summer, by the time it gets dark, it's like 9 o'clock, and that's usually her bedtime. And
Hmm.
my wife is usually falling asleep on the couch by 10 o'clock too. So we have to make sure it's a special night. So I'm looking forward to actually taking my daughter whenever she gets a little bit older.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We're usually a one movie kind of family. We make it through the
Oh
first
yeah.
one, but can't quite make the second. But we like to like pick up a pizza, take it with us. It's just a fun time.
Now, growing up, we had a station wagon. So, if you picture National Lampoon Summer Vacation and the family truckster, basically the same thing. And we would back up and then we would lay the back seats all down. We'd have sleeping bags there, put the tailgate down, and we could just lay there and watch the movie out the back.
Hmm.
Now, with the sci-fi dining theater, the lighting's a little bit lower. Again, you get that romantic thing. And the seats are usually going to be next to each other, which is as opposed to being across from each other, which is a different thing when you're dining. So it really does take you back to that. I'm in a drive-in theater, sitting in the car, or going to the movie theater, type thing. You can put your arm around um, the person next to you, and it enhances the closeness there. And now for a little
And the
bit of,
movies they show are fun too.
oh, they're great. My daughter really likes horror movies. That my wife likes horror movies, and so my daughter is getting into that too. That she wants to watch a couple that are a little bit more advanced than I want her to see with uh, some of the horror stuff that happens in the um, violence and gore and everything. It's like she's like, I'm not gonna have nightmares. It's like, but still, you're 6. You should not be watching this. It's PG-13 for a reason, okay? So, but yeah, the shows that they put on there now, if you're bringing kids, it's not always best for them if they scare easily. But actually, I want to watch some of those movies after seeing the previews for them, like the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman or something like that. It's like
Yes.
they sell it good in there. They do a good job of it. Now, for a little bit of upscale dining, the Brown Derby. So they do a pretty neat job of having little caricatures on the wall in there, like you would like you'd see at the real Brown Derby out in California, in LA or Hollywood.
Hmm.
So, like I said in the beginning, that we had covered like pretty much all of Hollywood studios. That's romantic area. So, at different times. Now on
Yeah.
to Animal Kingdom, Pandora, especially at night.
Oh my gosh.
The
Talk
bi
about breathtaking.
Oh yeah, the bioluminescence, the floating mountains. We've been there at rope drop when in the winter. So around 7:30 in the morning when the sun's just coming up behind the mountains and you get sunrise around there too. That's a really neat thing.
Yeah. It's again just the engineering of it is is crazy that somebody can actually build that with their hands and make it what it is. But yeah, those are both great times of day to see it.
And I've seen some interviews with Joe Rohde, who's another favorite on this podcast, that him talking about it and how they him going into some of the design elements and how they build it and what they were going for and how to do this and that and how they can hide certain things. It's really, really interesting. I'm not sure if that's behind the attractions, if they talked about that, or if it was another interview I saw.
Just so fascinating.
Hmm. Another one is Kilimanjaro safaris, especially when you like more evening one, but even during the day, especially if you're an animal lover, that there's just a very big wow element of going on that on those to see the animals there.
Oh, absolutely. And you never get the same experience twice. It's a really cool thing to experience.
Yeah, and if you're here's a little your little tip. If you're ever late for a dining reservation or a lightning lane or something else, especially if you're in Animal Kingdom, but even if you're in another park, blame a traffic jam. It's like, oh yeah, we had park hoppers. We were over in Animal Kingdom, traffic jam. We got stuck, and that's why we're late.
Nice.
We had a an ostrich delay. There was an ostrich on the path, and he just did not want to leave. So, yeah, we got stuck there for a little bit. We got some pretty neat other pictures though while we were there of other animals that happened to wander by.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know who's going to come walking right up to you or stand in the path for a few minutes. It's just so neat.
And I've gotten a good picture of a white rhino that's like 2 feet away from the truck that he just wandered by when you get a closer look. And now even just walking through the rest of Africa or Asia at night, or even the Oasis, which is like the entrance area into the park, that's usually pretty secluded. Even during the day, there's not a whole lot of people who hang around and wander through there.
Yeah, and over in Asia especially, I know that they have some like the lanterns lit
Hmm.
up at night. So just a real neat place to kind of walk and relax. I feel like Animal Kingdom's just so much more chill.
Yeah, it has that more laid back feeling to it. And again, another place where they did a such a great job of the immersiveness and the theming that my wife and I, well, my wife is from Indonesia, and so part of our honeymoon was going to Thailand. We went to Indonesia, Thailand, and then Malaysia. It was partly to visit our family, but then the rest of it we did sort of our honeymoon thing, and just um, the prayer flags that they have up hanging around, the little triangular things that are all tattered now. And if you look at the buildings, how they're aged, and the one thing that really stood out to me was the power lines, or well, quote unquote power lines for them, that it all like curls up and is like in a big jumbled mess when it reaches the building. And that if
Hmm.
I remember that specifically when we were in Phuket in Thailand, that was the side of the building. Whenever the power lines went in, there was that big cable of it, and so they really paid close attention to those little details.
That's really wild.
And now Discovery Island, looking at the Tree of Life to find animals, or at night going along some of those paths. And since it's kind of
Really.
lit up, you can kind of see some of the animals at night too.
Yeah, and then when they do the projections on the tree,
And having it come to
the
life, yes.
yeah, the awakening, that's a really neat thing to see too.
And a nice place to eat is the Nomad Lounge. This is near Tiffin's, like the pathway between Discovery Island and Pandora. Did they have patio seating too, so you can sit out there?
And I feel like it's just another place that's a little bit of a more romantic atmosphere. You can go and enjoy a little bit of food and drinks if you'd like to drink, and nice place to just take in the atmosphere around you.
It, and again, it kind of overlooks the water. It's set on the other side of the building, so it's away from all the normal noise and the chaos of the park. And now it's not very romantic, I don't think, but The Legend of the Lion King, I'm just going to put a plug in that because I think it's just amazing. Seeing
Yeah,
the
that's
tumble monkeys.
oh my gosh, it's like Broadway at Disney. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now heading over to Disney Springs. Well, actually, before we do Disney Springs, the whenever they have evening hours at the water parks, particularly with the H2O glow at Typhoon Lagoon, being able to be in the again things at night. There's and around water. There's something to that.
Yeah, that's something I've not experienced, but I agree. Anywhere you can be at Disney at night is really cool.
Now, which Disney Springs, which is right close to uh, Typhoon Lagoon, some of the restaurants there, the Paddlefish, which is the big boat that's gone by different names throughout the years. There's the STK Steakhouse. There's the Boathouse, the Summer House on the Lake, which sits right on um, Lake Buena Vista there. Enzo's Hideaway is a little very intimate place. Maria and Enzo's, if I can enunciate, we ate there, and oh my gosh, the food is so fresh, so good.
And it's a
Uh,
very, yeah, I feel like it's a very romantic atmosphere there, just cozy. And I think not, I don't want to say it's a hidden spot, but I almost feel like it is. It's just like a little hidden gem.
yeah, and with Enzo's Hideaway, it's in the name right there. And then the other
Yeah.
one of Maria and Enzo's, it's pretty neat. It's kind of grand that you walk in and you're on the second floor, and then you take these staircases down to the food where the tables are below. And so it's a nice throwback to like to the 1920s or 1940s type thing.
Hmm.
Then Morimoto Asia is another big favorite. It's difficult to get reservations there. We never usually get actually into the restaurant. We do the Morimoto street food, which is right outside. It's a quick service thing. Um, and there's a little patio there that you can with some tables. That it's a again low lighting area, so kind of a romantic thing of it's kind of off the beaten path. Great for people watching, going back and forth. There's right near there the Raglan Road where they have the then also Cooks of Dublin. There's was like the hole in wall, but they have live music there too, which is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely not a place for quiet romantic conversation. It's very lively and exciting, but it's really neat. And they do a great job of having the entertainment all around the restaurant. So even if you're not sat right in the middle where the stage is, they bring the dancers all around to the tables, and you get an opportunity to see the entertainment.
Yeah, last time we were there, we ate at Morimoto and then went and got in line for Gideon's Bakehouse to get some of the cookies. And it was right when the band was playing at Raglan, and you could hear the music. It was right there. And whenever they took a break, my daughter was like, "Why'd they stop?" It's like, "Don't worry, they'll come back." Now, it's not the most romantic for food or anything, but the Coca-Cola store rooftop beverage bar, you get some great views from up there. Just
Yeah,
looking
it's nice
over.
and high up. And I mean, if you're a major fan of the Beverly, you can get your big old Beverly up there.
No, as long as you're not afraid of heights too. And another thing, if you're not afraid of heights, is the aerofoil balloon ride. I've gone on that a couple of times, and I've done it during the day, done it around sunset, and done it at night. So sunset and night are pretty romantic, especially sunset for the romanticism. But at night, you get to see things all lit up, which is pretty neat.
That would be really cool. Unfortunately, my romantic partner doesn't like heights. So that's not something I've experienced.
Definitely go at night then, because you can't see down quite so as well. So you don't see the height as much. Distance is a bit muted. And now another thing, if you're not afraid of heights, the amphicars. Now I'm always nervous seeing those because they sit really low in the water. But um, we stayed at Saratoga Springs and we took the Sassagola Steamboat Company, the little boat thing, back to our both to and from our hotel to Disney Springs, and we went by a couple of those, um, both around dusk whenever we or around sunset whenever we were going, and then later at night. That it was at night you could see the little blinking lights on the amphicars as they went by.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's not something we've ever done just because we're a family of six, and I believe they only hold five at the
At
most.
most, yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, if you have someone who's afraid of water, like some people are afraid of heights, then that's the perfect, person to sit that one out.
yeah, just sit them on the side.
Just wait there. We'll be back. No, parenting, don't do that if it's a kid, especially depending on the age. When they're old enough and a teenager, then you can do it. But yeah. So now at the hotels, probably the most romantic one is the Grand Floridian. Whether you're in the lobby with they have the grand piano player, walks on the beach, they have a little croquet lawn, and then the restaurants have like Victorian Albert's, which is probably the most elaborate place to eat in Walt Disney World. Even Narcoossee's, they have the wedding pavilion there. Just don't go there when someone else is using it. Don't be wedding crashers. And there's even a walking path to the Magic Kingdom, which most people will take the monorail when you're at the Grand Floridian. But especially at night, if you're walking back, if you do the resort monorail, you have to go to the Contemporary, then the TTC, then the Polynesian, and it's the last stop. So either the ferry boat or even walking can sometimes be a bit quicker
And
if you
that's
have an
another one of
energy
your
left.
and that's another one of your magic monorail shots. If you can get the monorail coming at sunset out from the Grand Floridian with the Grand Floridian in the background, that's I have a couple photos of that spectacular view.
Yeah, there have been times I did, and that's another thing. Well, we'll hit on this later on, but just taking the monorail, especially around, the magic hour type thing of sunset. And now, right near there, we mentioned it, the Polynesian. Now, this is another great place to watch the fireworks from. And so you're on the beach, you're right by the water. You can hear the music from um, what they're going to have in the parks that they will play that along the beach too, and you get to see the fireworks.
And then the electrical water pageant goes by all of these resorts. Oh, the Polynesian has my heart. That is my favorite place. It's where we stayed on our honeymoon. We surprised the kids taking them there. I mean, I could just go stay there.
Well, especially now that they have the over the water bungalows, so it's really like you're in one of the Caribbean islands or out in like a Pacific tropical island somewhere in Tahiti. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of those, if I hit the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there'll be signs. I'll be sending pictures from my little private dipping pool inside a bungalow.
And with watching the fireworks, you can even see them a bit from the Grand Floridian. And as a matter of fact, I have a booked a stay for a couple that they're at the Grand Floridian as we record this, and he sent me a video last night of watching the fireworks from their balcony. Like, they were kind of on the back end, so you can only see the fireworks coming like over the top of the rest of the Grand Floridian, but you can still see the fireworks from their hotel room.
That's neat. We actually watched them from the boat dock one night. We went over and had dinner at the Grand Floridian Cafe, and we decided to take the boat back to the Polynesian. And so we just stayed at the boat dock and watched the fireworks.
And now on the other side of that is the Contemporary, which if you have the right rooms or the Bay Lake Tower, you can see the fireworks in the parks from your balcony. But also the California Grill, which is on top of the Contemporary. And the neat thing is that if you eat there during the day, save your receipt and you can come back at night and you can watch the fireworks from up there. So you don't have to
That's
worry
a
about,
great
yeah, you don't have to worry about eating there and being close enough to the windows, and having good view. You can eat earlier and then you can just be out on the little balcony and see the fireworks from there with a better, unencumbered view.
And they do offer an extra special thing called the celebration from the top. It's a little difficult to get because it's only offered very select nights. But just another opportunity to kind of have an intimate moment and be able to enjoy California Grill and see the fireworks.
We got to eat there once. It was my mom's 40th birthday. I won't say what year was or anything, but we went and got reservations and ate up there. That was so cool. The one thing I wish they still had was they had parasailing on Bay Lake years ago. That my wife and I did that. Um, and seeing Magic Kingdom from that perspective and that, being up that high and where we were and being able to see over in the Seven Seas Lagoon and all the hotels from that perspective was really, really cool. I want them to bring that back. I'd like to do it again.
Yeah, that would be really neat.
Now, right next to there is the Wilderness Lodge, and a couple places are the Sunrise Terrace that overlooks Bay Lake and the Silver Creek Springs. The Grand Lobby that has these giant stone fireplaces with small little nooks where you can sit. And if you've ever been out to some of the national parks, like in Yellowstone or Yosemite, that they have those big grand lodges. I'm thinking specifically of the Awani Hotel in Yosemite Valley, that they have those giant stone fireplaces like 6 feet tall. You can actually like walk into it. In Boulder Ridge, the Boulder Ridge Cove Pool, which is like one of their DVC areas, it's very secluded. The Carrollwood Train Room, which is usually very crowded. So if you want to go quiet time, and then even strolls along the pass because it's a fairly big resort, especially with all the DVC places to stay. You can walk around.
Yeah, and at Christmas time, it is incredible with the tree in the middle of the lobby.
Oh yeah, the decorations there. And then not too far away is the Fort Wilderness Campground, where you can go on a carriage ride or quote unquote sleigh ride around the holidays. Walks along the path there. You can rent a canoe. You can rent a bike. So things you can be a little bit more active and spend time um, with loved ones.
Yeah, and I will say we didn't do it at Fort Wilderness, but we did it over at Port Orleans, the carriage ride. And I mean, that is the epitome of romance. If you are looking for that romantic thing to just cap off your time at Disney, that's absolutely what you want to do is take that carriage ride.
And even if you don't take the carriage ride, or even before or after you do the carriage ride, whatever, but Port Orleans Riverside, walking along the little beach and the water there, Port Orleans French Quarter, admiring the architecture, that it's kind of like at New Orleans Square out in Disneyland, that they use such a, it's like you are actually in New Orleans. It's great.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
They did their homework. Now, my favorite place in Walt Disney World is the boardwalk or the Yacht and Beach Club, that area around Crescent Lake. There's a nice pathway you can walk around. It even goes over to where the Swan and Dolphin are. The boardwalk has entertainment at night. It's all lit up. It's like being at a Atlantic City boardwalk or any other boardwalk along the East Coast specifically that I grew up going to. There's also the Flying Fish Cafe that is a nice restaurant that has this open kitchen concept so you can see them preparing your food.
That's another hidden gem for sure.
Yeah. Over at the Yacht and Beach Club, walking along the different beaches they have there. The yacht club pool is kind of isolated. It kind of sits back, so you have to like walk down this long hallway to get there from the yacht club lobby. A few places to eat: the Yachtman Steakhouse, the Cruise Cup Lounge, which is next to the Steakhouse. The Ale and Compass has some intimate seating. Martha's Vineyard is like a little casual lounge. It's like a New England beach house type thing. And then take like a little throwback is Beaches and Cream Soda Shop. It's like an old fashioned date night feel to it.
Yeah, it's really fun, especially when you get the big sundae.
The kitchen sink.
Kitchen sink. Yep.
Oh, they make a big deal out of that too. Of like ring bell, it's a big affair that they'll announce it and everything.
Yeah, lights go off. It's really neat.
It's meant to be shared though, okay? Although as a
Tell that to my
teenager,
now 13-year-old. She consumed every brownie that was on that thing.
I'm gonna say as a teenager, I'm sure I could have given it a good run for its money. Next, over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, just watching the animals near those big windows. And then Jico, the cooking place, is also a nice place to eat. At the Riviera, Topolino's, flavors of the Riviera. Great views from the top, especially at night. You can see the fireworks at Epcot. Both Saratoga Springs and Old Key West, especially at night. they're very big resorts, and there's nice sidewalks you can just walk around. Saratoga Springs has a little has some water features in the middle, so then there's a bridge that'll walk you can go across. The Caribbean Beach has a walking path, go walk along the beaches there too. And even at Pop Century Art of Animation at night, they have a lot of paths to walk on, and the theming of that is kind of amusing. So it's a if you have a little more of that comedy streak in you and your significant other.
And I think just going along with those resorts, and I know you probably have it with transportation, is the Skyliner. That's
Oh,
a
absolutely.
pretty neat experience being up high, catching, you can potentially catch fireworks from the Skyliner. And if you're lucky enough to get the car all to yourself, it's just a nice place to decompress at the end of the night.
Yeah, and if you ride it at park closing, they try to, move things along efficiently. So you're most likely going to be with other people if you're just, two of you getting on. But if you would go around sunset, if you're going to make it an early night of leaving the park, or we use it just for fun. That usually later in our stay, all right, we're tired of walking, waiting in line. We've done everything we need to do. We just need a break from the crowds. That we'll just go ride the Skyliner or just go ride the monorail. And I have some great pictures of being at sunset or even as night starting to fall of getting on the of different things you can see at the Skyliner. And I recommend trying to get a car that does not have one of the characters on it because you can see out of it better.
Yeah.
And we mentioned before the monorail at night, the friendships or the ferry at night. And those are also great for resort hopping or if you're going to go get dinner at one of the Disney resort hotels. Any of these transportation options are good. Already talked about the Sassagola Steamboat Company, the little river cruise that goes. There's one for Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, and then Port Orleans that will take you to Disney Springs. And then they actually have dedicated fireworks cruises, or you can rent a pontoon boat and just drive around. And then if you don't mind a little friendly competition with your romance, miniature golf, the Fantasia Gardens and Fairways. There's a little walkway you can get to from the Swan and Dolphin, or the Winter Summerland, which shares its parking lot with the Blizzard Beach.
Yeah, and when you book a Disney World vacation package, you will receive complimentary admission to one of the miniature golf courses.
Do you have a favorite among them?
Definitely the Winter Summerland.
In general, so taken together, I would take that one because both of them are really great themed. If you're gonna take just one, I think I'm gonna go with the Fantasia Gardens. The Fairways one is just like an actual set up to resemble like a golf course, but I like
Mhm.
the animation stuff that comes with the Fantasia Gardens thing. So, but I've played them all, and I would like to play them all each trip, but we usually don't budget in that much time outside the parks. Now, is there anything else you wanted to add, Chrissy, before we get to travel tips?
I don't think so. I think we've covered a lot, and I think a lot of good tips and a lot of places that you can have that little romantic touch.
Now, my travel tip is that as I mentioned before, that romantic is subjective, that there's the classically romantic stereotypes like flowers and walks on the beach and candlelit dinners. But I consider it to be romantic by doing something that's special for your significant other. It could be a meal at his or her favorite restaurant, going to a favorite attraction, just having fun together, whatever works with your relationship. That we've, given some suggestions here, but be aware that, be aware of what your soulmate enjoys and keep your eyes open for things at Walt Disney World that might, fit that. So look for locations that stand out to you, find things that the other person enjoys and go all in with it. For example, my wife is much more of a food aficionado than I am. So getting a reservation at a restaurant that she really wants to try would be a big thrill for her, at least bigger than it is for me. But while eating there, in general doesn't make much difference for on my end, but getting to spend time with her. and as she has this special experience is going to be meaningful. And I'm not going to be there on my phone. Okay, you done yet? Okay, it's me. Oh, how's the food? Are you enjoying this? Actually, engaging with her as part of it would be an important thing for her.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that my tip would be in all of this, take it as slow as you can. Enjoy all of the little things that we've talked about, getting to see the special touches that maybe you don't get to see whenever you're running from one ride to the next and on such a specific plan. Take a time with your significant other that you don't have plans, that you don't have specific things that you need to do and get to at specific times, just to take in all the details and enjoy the time together.
Being in the moment, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, if you have a destination or experience that you'd like us to discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite place to visit or have a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Chrissy, how can people get a hold of you?
You can email me at Chrissy, that's CHRISSY at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. And you can look me up on Facebook at Dreams by Design Travel with Chrissy.
Here at the podcast, we are on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin. Yinz, Yinz, Goin, Goin, with the apostrophe and the question mark. Email is Matt, Matt, at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. All this information is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to contact us. You don't have to have written that down or have a photographic memory. And if you're driving, hands on the wheel, please. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, let other people know. We like to share all of our fun, excitement, and good information to as many people as possible. Chrissy, it was awesome to have you on. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll have you back again for
Thank you.
something.
Yeah, I would love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Everyone else, please join us next time. We're heading out, Nat. We'll see you later.